can open that door. You are feeling cold by opening the door?
No, sir.
I think it is cold. Okay, close that door. Sambhavanti bhadrani viparitani chanatha karinang gunasangasti dehovan na jatanmakri. Dehovan means the living entities who have accepted this material body. Dehovan. Ban, there is a Sanskrit pratyaya, batuk. Pratyaya se batuk. When one possesses something, it is called batuk pratyaya, and from batuk it becomes ban. Deha ban means one who possesses this material world. Just like there are many others. Bhagavan, Gunavan. Ban means possession. Similarly, here also the same word is used, ban, dehavan. So, the Jamadis says that anyone who accepted this material body, he has to work. He has to work. There are three kinds of energy of God. Vishnu Shakti Paraprokta. Actually, the Lord's energy is spiritual. Spiritual energy. Vishnu Shakti Paraprokta. And these living entities, they are also para. Kshetrajna kya tatha para. There is another Shakti, Kshetrajna. The Kshetrajna Shakti means we, living entities. We are also energy of Kṛṣṇa, of God. We are known as Kshetrajna Shakti. Kshetrajna Shakti means I know about my body. The pains and pleasures of my body I can understand. Therefore, I am living. Living entity and the non-living entities, a stone cannot understand the pains and pleasures because there is no life. But as soon as there is life, the pains and pleasures are felt. The dead body cannot feel pains and pleasures. But Kshetrajna tatha para, as the direct energy of Kṛṣṇa or God is spiritual, similarly the living entities, they are also of the same nature. Therefore God and the living entities are one because of the same nature. Para. Tritiya Shakti Anya. There is another Shakti. Tatha Para. Tritiya Shakti, Karma Sangya. another Shakti, the spiritual Shakti, spiritual energy is one, and the material energy, there you have to work. Titya karma sangha anya. There is another energy where you have to work. Otherwise, there is no, you have to work. Anyone who has got this body, material body, just like an ant and an elephant, both of them have got this material body. But none of them can sit idly. The ant requires a grain of sugar, and the elephant requires 300 months for eating at a time. Huge quantity. But both of them have to work. The ant cannot say, oh, I require only little grain. The lion, he has to also work. He cannot say, I am lion. Just like our Lions members, Lion Club, they write lion. As if they haven't got to work. So, nahi suptasya singhasya pravishanti mukhe mriga. One lion thought, there is a story, that I am the king of the animals, so I shall sleep and I shall order all the animals to come and I shall eat. So he lied down for several days, no animal came, and he was starving. Therefore, he had to work. He had to find out his prey. Actually, the lions and tigers, they do not find every day their prey. There is another miserable condition. They are very powerful, but they have very little chance of showing their power. Unless some animal comes, what is the use of power? The animals are, every animal is careful. Nobody is going to the forest where tigers and lions are there. Everyone takes care. The animals also, but when they are too much starving, Kṛṣṇa gives them food. All right, they can kill these animals. They cannot get every day. Neither they can get food by sleeping. I will not work. No, that is not. Nahi suptasya singhasya pravishanti mukhe mriga. The Hitopada story. So here in this material you cannot cease working. You have to work. Kṛṣṇa also says to Arjuna that you cannot leave him without working. So you have to work. Foolish people say that Vaiṣṇavas, they do not work. They work. They work simply for Kṛṣṇa. Day and night, 24 hours they work. They are not idle sleepers. So, in this material world, you have to work. But if you work for Kṛṣṇa, that is dharma. And if you do not work for Kṛṣṇa, that is adharma. That's all. Therefore Kṛṣṇa says, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sarano. You simply work for me. That is life. Is there any counter argument against this logic? You have to work. But if you work for Kṛṣṇa, then you are saved. If you work for your sense gratification, you become entangled. One after another, one after another, one after another. Then you cannot get out of these clutches of repeated birth and death. You have to continue sense gratification. Sometimes a man sometimes a demigod, sometimes an animal, sometimes a tree, sometimes an insect, sometimes a bird, sometimes aquatic, sometimes this planet, sometimes another planet. There are innumerable varieties of planets and innumerable varieties of living entities in this material world, and they are rotating here, there, here, there, here. But under the spell of Maya, when one gets a particular type of body, he identifies himself that I am this body, I am Indian, I am American, I am this, I am that, and he becomes entangled in that business. And simply spoils his life under this impression, false egotism. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu clearly says, Jiver Sarupa Nitya Kṛṣṇa Das. The actual constitutional position of the living entity is that he is eternal servant of God. If he takes that position, then he is safe. Otherwise he is not. So, in order to be elevated to this position, there are different stages. The first stage is karma. Tritiya karma sangha anya, tritiya saktirishate. The material energy, those who are in the modes of ignorance, just like animals, they have no other information, neither they can understand what he is. There is no possibility in the animal life of understanding what I am. That is not possible. Therefore, we should utilize this human form of life to understand what I am. When Sanatana Goswami approached Lord Chaitanya to become his disciple, he surrendered himself and said, My dear Lord, I was minister, and people used to address me as the learned man. And I accepted them, that I am very learned man, I am very intelligent man. But actually I am neither learned, neither intelligent, because I do not know what I am. This is my learning. I know everything except what I am. That's all. The modern education is like that. He'll talk of everything, but if you ask him what you are, there is no answer. There is no answer. Gramma Vyavahare Kaha Pandit Satta Kari Mani. Sanatana Goswami said that this foolish neighbors, they call me very learned man. And I also become self-complacent. I think, I am learned. People say, you are BA, you are MA, you are PhD. And I think, yes, I am very learned man. But if a PhD man is asked, will you kindly explain what you are, what is your necessity? He will simply say about this body, I am Indian, I am this, I am Hindu, I am a man, I am a woman. That means he can simply give his identification of this body, which he is not. Therefore his full number what? He is giving identification. This is called pramana. Arjuna was thinking in that terms. Kṛṣṇa, how can I fight? On the other side, there are my cousin brothers and his sons, they are my nephews, and my cousin brother-in-law, Shala is there, and if I kill my cousin brothers, then their wives will be widows, and they will be polluted, and there will be unwanted children. So many things he was explaining as a very learned man. Very learned man. So, when he was puzzled, he was answering in his own way, but he was puzzled. At that time, he said, Kṛṣṇa, I am now actually puzzled. Actually, I am Kshatriya. It is my duty to fight, but I am deviating from that duty. So I know that this is my fault, but I am puzzled. I cannot clear up what to do. And I know that you can explain what is my duty. Therefore, I surrender unto you as your disciple. Sishyasthiham sadhimam prapannam. I surrender unto you. Please instruct me what is to be done. This is the position of everyone. Everyone is puzzled. Nobody knows what is the actual duty, what is the actual position. Therefore, Bhagavad says, Tasmad Gurum Prapaddita. When one is actually inquisitive to understand his position, that inquisitiveness is the qualification for approaching a spiritual mode. Otherwise there is no need of having a spiritual master for a straw bottle. There is no need of spiritual. Tasmad Gurum Prapaddita Jigyasu Sreya Uttamam. One who is actually serious to understand about himself, he requires a spiritual master. Otherwise, why you make so? So many people have got spiritual masters, just like so many people maintain dogs, I will have to maintain a dog. Not like that. You must find out seriously a spiritual master who can solve the problems of your life. Samsara dava nalalira lokatrana, that is the first line. Everyone is suffering in the blazing fire of this material existence. And if he is serious to get out of it, he must approach a bona fide spiritual master. That is the injunction of the Veda. So, this material existence, you have to work. And you have to work means you have to work pious or impious. There are two things, dharma and adharma. Lawful or illegal. Therefore the Vedas are there. How we can work lawfully without? You cannot work unlawfully, just like in this state. In any circumstances, you cannot work unlawfully, then you will be arrested. Why don't you believe in the God's kingdom? The atheists, they take up the position of God because if they accept that there is God, then all their sinful activities have to be explained, and they are afraid of that. Therefore, just like sometimes what is called? I forget the name. There is one animal, just I forgetting. They are found in the bushes. Rabbit. So the rabbit, when some animal comes to attack, he closes his eyes, as if there is no danger. And the animals very easily catch that. And all the animals, even the monkeys, they also sometimes drop from the tree, and when there is another ferocious animal, close the eyes. So these atheist class of men, they by closing their eyes, they try to forget there is no God, I am God. but that will not save them. God's action will be there. They may think like that. There is no God. I am closing my eyes. I don't care for God. There is a government, some foolish persons. And we have actually seen it. Gandhi inaugurated the civil disobedience movement. So out of enthusiasm, 60,000 Indians they went to, because Gandhi said, jail Swaraj ka mandir hai. If you accept jail, then that is the opening. Of course, you are successful. But some of my friends also went to jail, civil disobedience, and there was one friend, I asked him, what is your condition? Actually, many gentlemen died after coming back from that civil disobedience jail. C.R. Das died. Many leaders, they slow poison and beaten like anything. They know how to govern, that they may not come again in this jail. And so many people died and they suffered. And so I asked one of my friends, George, whether you are going again to jail. He said, no, I am not. You see? So similarly, we may defy the existence of God. There is no God. I don't care for God. There is no law. For I am everything. So am. But that closing will not do. God has many agents. As soon as you do something wrong, immediately there is punishment. There is punishment. So you have to work. Avidya karma sanganya titya saktirishyate. So long you are in the material, under the spell of this material energy, you have to work. And because you have to work, some work may be very good, some work must be some bad. That is natural. So, a devotee says therefore, Kama dinang katidhana katidha palita dunnidesa. My dear Lord, actually I am your servant, but because I wanted to be master, therefore I became servant of so many masters. One master is lust. I am the servant of lust, kamadina. The first servant is calm, lust. Therefore, for spiritual life, one has to stop this lusty desire, brahmacharya, sannyasi, restricted household life. Because the lust is the basic principle of this. Janamaithunadi grihamedi sukham mitucham. There are many instances. So we are servants of lust, servants of anger, kamadina. The lust is the first, adi. Then, when lust is not fulfilled, then we become angry. Just like a child, he wants something, if you don't give, then he becomes angry and cries. So, one after another, lust, anger, greediness, so many things, kamadina. So, we become, in the name of becoming God, becoming independent, we become servant of these propensities. That's all. Kamadina, and they dictate us. You do. Never mind, there is risk. You do it. Dunnidesa. Dunnidesa means, just like I am a servant in a farm and he's black marketing, and the master orders me, you must do this business, black market. That is illegal, but because my master asked me, I have to do it. This is called dunnidesa. Dunnidesa. The lust Of course, there is arrangement for fulfilling your life. God has arranged everything. You are very much anxious to satisfy your senses. So there is arrangement that you satisfy your senses. You legally accept a wife or you legally accept a husband and satisfy your senses and be Kṛṣṇa conscious. That is the law. But one becomes so much lusty that he does not take responsibility of accepting a wife or husband. He fulfills his desires in some other way. That's entanglement. This is going on. The last, the first thing is the illicit order of the lust. Why not? Why should you restrict yourself in one wife? Why not have 1,000 friends and go on, satisfy your senses? This is called dunnidesa. The lust is dictating. So when one comes to the senses, he says, my Lord, I wanted to be master, but I become servant of all these propensities. Kamadina. Not only I become servant, but I executed their order, illegal orders. Kamadinam kutidhana kutitha palita dunnidesa. But now I see that still they are not satisfied. I have served the Lord so faithfully that I carried things which is not to be done. Still the lust is not satisfied. Tisang na karuna jata. And I have worked for them so faithfully, still they are not happy. They are not pleased. They are not kind upon me, still ordering, still ordering, still ordering. Kamadinam kutidhana kutidha palita dunnidesa. Tisana mahina karuna jata. Oh, they are not kind enough. They do not think that this rascal has worked blindly on my dictation. Now let him go, let him take rest. No, you must go. This is the position. Tisang kaduna not trupa. All right, if they are not kind, but if I ask, are you satisfied with my service? No, not trupa. Are you now peaceful? No, no upashanti. Will you stop dictating me anymore? No. So long you live, I must stay. This is also. And people, this is called illusion mind. He is trying to be master, but he is becoming more and more servant of these six propensities. Manasasthani indriyani prakritisthani karsati. And the Bhagavad Gita. Under mental speculation, being servant of lust, greediness, anger, they are struggling hard in this material world. Prakritisthani karsati. Mamaivang, but they are actually my part and parcel. Mamaivang su jiva bhuta. Sanatana, eternal. But they have taken to this business. Therefore Kṛṣṇa is so kind, he comes personally. You rascal, you give up all this nonsense. Surrender unto me, I will give you protection. But the rascal will not agree. Just like the hawk, when Brahma came, you are Indra, you have been cast to become a hawk. Now, whatever is done is done. Now I have come to take you, please come. No sir, I cannot go. I cannot leave my responsibility. I have got so many responsibilities. You are hog, you are suffering. This is not your life, you are Indra, come on. No, I don't want Indra. I don't want to be Indra. I want to remain a hog. All right, remain. Similarly, Kṛṣṇa comes to claim you, reclaim you. Sarvadharman parityaja mamekam saranam vraja. No, sir, this is not possible. I remain hog. All right, remain hog. What Kṛṣṇa can do and Kṛṣṇa's father can do. Unless you agree to surrender, you will be allowed. All right, you go on with your business. That is required. The first position, first condition is, then you must agree to surrender. That is the whole teachings of Bhagavad. We should stop all this nonsense, benevolent work. I am nationalist, I am socialist, I am this, I am that. You can't go on with that work. But so long you do not agree to be Kṛṣṇite or Kṛṣṇa conscious, your this position of repeated birth and death under different condition of life will continue. So, the Karmi's position is so precarious. And there are, when one is disgusted with this Karmi's position, just like this devotee says, that I have served so long, sir, but they are not satisfied. They are not satisfied, and I have become fed up. Now I have come to you, sir. Please engage me in your service. That is Hare Kṛṣṇa. Hare means, oh, my energy of Kṛṣṇa, and Kṛṣṇa means, oh Kṛṣṇa. This is addressing, oh energy, because just like this material energy, we are energy, we have to be under other energy. Just like there are different departments of government, there are different energies. So one energy is under some energy, another energy is under some energy. Similarly, we are marginal energy. Tatastha Shakti. Tatastha Shakti, so we have to live either under the spiritual energy or under this material energy. That is our choice. Just like you have made a choice to come here, that you are agreeing to come under spiritual energy. But there are many who may not come. They do not agree to come under the spiritual energy. So God there does not interfere. You may remain whatever you like. But because we have got this living condition, we have got this discriminating power, what to do, and therefore satsanga is required to come to our senses. Just like naughty children are sent to school to become pacified and to learn. Similarly, this satsanga is required. That was India's civilization. In every village, in every town, there was arrangement for satsanga, and the Brahmins, they were meant for, I mean to say, disseminating this Vedic knowledge, and people used to take knowledge, the Kshatriyas, the Vaiṣṇavas, they used to take knowledge from these learned Brahmins, they used to act accordingly, therefore they are happy. Now they have left everything. Everyone has become God, and they can defy any Vedic rules and they can eat any nonsense like hogs. And Swami will say, yes, there is no connection of your religion. And simply meditate that you are God, then everything is finished. But that is not the actual position. You have to hear. Satang prasangatma vija samvida bhavantiriskanna rasayana tatha. You have to hear from the right source. Therefore Vedic literature is called Shruti. By hearing. Savanam. Savanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasivanam Archanam Vandanam Dasam Sakhamas. These are the rules and regulations. Everything is there. If you kindly accept this authority, then your life is successful. Otherwise, kama dinam kadidhana kadidha palita sundilisa. Be satisfied with sense gratification like dogs and hogs and repeated birth and death and so on. This is not threatening. This is actually the fact. But unfortunately, we do not try to understand this. That is our problem. Thank you very much.
I'm saying that you told that David was not offering of God, so he's closing his eyes. But I'm thinking that other is that he is not offering of that, so he's closing his eyes and saying that now there is no way of saving, so he is simply closing and say, I am going to die, don't worry.
That is foolishness. You see? That is foolishness. Why should you surrender in that way? That is, in human life, one does not go to the tiger and please eat me. No, he takes precaution. If you have got precautionary measures, why should you not accept it? Kṛṣṇa says, Mami Vajapapudante Mayami Tansat. You are saved from all the reactions of this Maya simply by surrendering to Kṛṣṇa. Why don't you accept this? Why do you say that, all right, please, Mr. Tiger, I have no other way. Please eat me. Philanthropy? That's not very good idea. When there is precautionary measures, why don't you accept it? You can save yourself.
God has made several signs.
Huh?
God has made several signs if death is coming.
God has not made, you have made.
Some peace are when peace are going.
Huh?
Peace are going when has become white. We can know that.
That is nature's way. Nature's way. This is called sarobika. This is nature's law. You cannot avoid it. This is called apakshaya. Apakshaya, dwindling. Anything, it remains fresh, just like flower. From the bud, it grows. And then it fructifies and becomes very beautiful. Then there are some seeds. Everything then becomes dry, wither, and then finish. This is law. Applicable to anything material. This law is applicable. Anything material. But when you, under spirits, when you go to the spiritual world, these things are not there. That is eternal. So if you have got chance for being promoted to such eternal life, why not try in this human form of life for that eternal life? Kṛṣṇa says, Jadgatyana nivattante saddhamam paramam mamupetta kontiya dukkhalayam asasatam nabnuvanti mahatma samsiddhim paramangata. So, why don't you accept this? The things are there, the measures are there. Just like there are schools, there are colleges, It is open for education. If you don't take education, and then that is up to you. So these books are there. Anadi Bahirmok Jeev Kṛṣṇa Bhuli Gala. We have forgotten Kṛṣṇa, we do not know from where it began. But it is a fact that we have forgotten Kṛṣṇa. Now try to become Kṛṣṇa conscious. This is the opportunity.
Which one is the correct way for oneself to get himself liberated from the bondage of lust when he is parasansari? Because one may not be doing physically anything.
Yes.
But mentally everybody is doing something in one way or other.
Yes. That I explained, that you have to work. You cannot avoid work. But if you work for Kṛṣṇa, you are saved. It's a simple thing.
The study of the Indian scriptures by worshipping.
Well, when you become Kṛṣṇa conscious, what Kṛṣṇa says in the Bhagavad Gita, you have to do that. That's all. Kṛṣṇa consciousness means to apply practically in life the instruction of Kṛṣṇa. That's all. So why don't you do that? Is there any difficulty?
Yes, it's really very difficult.
Huh?
It is really very difficult.
Yes, it's difficult. So long you are rebellious, it is difficult. Why shall I surrender to Kṛṣṇa? That is difficult. Otherwise it is second business. You try immediately surrender to Kṛṣṇa, he takes charge of it. He says, Aham apashami, sarva papi. You won't do. That is your determination. So why shall I surrender to Kṛṣṇa? All right, don't do it. He gives you guarantee that I take charge of you. Why don't you surrender? Say, what is your objection?
There is no objection to it.
Then why don't you do it?
But they are doing it, but it is very difficult.
Why difficult? So many others are doing. What is difficulty? They are in a different culture, a different society. They are doing. And what is your difficulty?
These people, they have left the material world and they have become...
They are not material. All these girls have got a husband. Here is husband and wife sitting. What do you mean by material world? Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. This is material life. So are they not eating? They are starving? Are they not sleeping? Are they not mating? The wife is there. So what do you mean by material life? These four things, but they are Kṛṣṇa conscious. That is divine. Simply they have accepted Kṛṣṇa as life. Otherwise nothing is denied to them. It is not that they are eating, they are not eating, they are not sleeping, they are not mating, they are not defending, they have become all fools and rascals. No. Don't misunderstand. The Kṛṣṇa consciousness means to avoid everything. Why? You have to work in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, that's all. Otherwise nothing is denied. So it is our obstinacy that we do not take to Kṛṣṇa. Otherwise there is no difficulty. I shall not take to Kṛṣṇa. That is the defect. So this can be avoided if you attend. Just like all these boys, they were also like that. But attending this lecture, one day, sir, I shall become. That is the way. That was satsanga required. In the beginning, it appears very difficult. But if you associate with devotee, this maya, this false idea will be Cheta Darpana Marjana. Chant Hare Kṛṣṇa and these difficulties will be over. Simple method. If you feel difficulties, go on chanting constantly. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa. And all difficulties will be over.
What's that word samsanya using? What's that word samsanya using? Satsanga.
Satsanga. Satsanga. You do not know this word. Satsanga means to associate with devotees. That's all. There are satsanga and asatsanga. If you associate with devotees, then your path of liberation is clear. And if you associate with materialists, then your path of darkness is open. That's all. There are two paths. Mahat seva daram ahud vimukti. Mahat seva. When you engage yourself in the service of Mahat, Mahat means those who are one who is surrendered. The Kṛṣṇa has said, surrender. As soon as you surrender, you become a Mahat. And one who serves the Mahat Seva, for him, Dharam Ahur Vimukti. Then his path for liberation becomes open. Tamadhyaram Jyositang Sangisangam. And if you associate Josit means sense gratificatory agent. Generally Josit is understood as omen, but not, that is limited. Anything sense gratificator, that is called Josit. Josit Sangha Sangha. If you associate with persons, those are too much addicted to sense gratification, then you are tamadharam. You must know that you are making progress to the darkness. Mahat seva dharam ahur vimukti. So we have to, these things are there, we have to simply learn. Just like a boy, uneducated, when he goes to the school, everything becomes clear. He becomes MA, PhD, that's all. So we have got this advantage. In our India especially, so many literatures, they are available, but we are not taking advantage of it. We are misguided. To take birth on the land of Bharatvarsh is a great opportunity. But we are not taking advantage. Neither there is encouragement from the government side, from the parent side, so-called spiritual master. So our position is very precarious.
स्वामी जी, वो कर्मानुसार अगर भगवत भजन में प्रत्यवाय आ जाता है तो क्या करना है?
तो जिसका कर्मवशात क्या?
यानी अपने जो प्रारब्ध कर्म जो है,
हाँ, कर्माणि निदहति किंतु च भक्ति भाया. Beginning from Indra, the king of heaven, down to the Indra germ, there is a small germ which is called Indrapo, very small. So in the Brahma Samhita it is said, Jastindra Gopa Mathamendra Maho Sakarma Bandhan Rupama Sri Phalavajana. Beginning from that big Indra down to this small Indra, everyone is bound up by the reaction of his own work. Karmani niddhati kintu cha bhakti bhajam. If you take to devotional service, your karma will be immediately cut. Why? Krishna says, never mind, you are bound up by karma. You take shelter upon me, I will give you protection. When Krishna gives you protection, assures you, why you are fearing? The karma banda.
कर्म ऐसा भी कहा है
वो तो दूसरे के लिए है, जो भक्त के लिए नहीं है. दूसरे के लिए. Those who are attached to this fruitive activities, for them, not for the devotee. Don't you see? These Europeans, Americans, how much abominable life was there. Now see, because they have taken the devotional service. Immediately change everything. That assurance is there. The Shastra is there. The practical result is there. But the only determination is that I will not take to this path. That is the imperative. I will not take to Krishna consciousness. That is our mission. Otherwise everything is there.
प्रकृतिं यान्ति भूतानि निग्रहस्मिन् करिष्यति.
The Prakriti, why should you keep in this Prakriti, material Prakriti? There is other Prakriti. What is the take this spiritual Prakriti? That you can accept. When Krishna says that you come to this side, why does you come? That is your independence. Just like Krishna asked Arjuna that now I have instructed you everything, what you are going to do. Krishna was not certain that Arjuna would accept my advice. That independence is there. But he said, yes, Kṛṣṇa Vaiṣṇavas, I shall accept. That is what. Yeah. See, if you agree, everything is there. If you don't agree, what can be done? Yeah.
I'm having a visit today. Tomorrow, I'm having a visit today. Tomorrow I will be having a desire for television. And if I am having a television, tomorrow I will be having a desire of good flat. If I have a good flat, I will have a desire of a car. Like that, desires are increasing day by day. Due to the materials are making so much invention. So what is the best way of controlling that desires and stopping the desires?
You have to purify desire. You have to desire only that I shall serve Krishna. That desire. Then all other desires will purify. Sarvapadim vinirmuktam tatparatena nirmalam. Sarvapadi. You are desiring as something else except Krishna's servant. And therefore these desires are impure. You have to cut down your desire. That is not possible. You cannot be desireless, but you have to purify your desire. That is different. And that purification of desire can take place when you become freed from the designation. If you designate yourself that I am Gujarati, I am American, I am Indian, I am this, I am that, that is designation. If you take your true constitutional position that I am eternal servant of Kṛṣṇa, then immediately all your desires will pass. Tatparatena nirmala. Tatpara. That means Kṛṣṇa. And as soon as you step to the side of Kṛṣṇa, everything becomes nirmala. And unless you are nirvana, you cannot serve Kṛṣṇa. That is not possible.
If one engages himself in the service of the pure devotee, then his direction of his energy become more purified. The more one serves the pure devotee.
I found that this was true. Before I was a devotee, I used to come to the temple and do little things. Paint here and there, get a few reeds. Just for hours, every day I would do this for a week. Then it became 2 hours. Then it became 4 hours. Then I never went home. I had to stay. Because I found that was like, I was like living on the outside of a bottle of honey, like a bee. But if the jar becomes open and he can go right in, then what does he need for him going around the outside of the jar? So the honey is here, Prabhupada's jar is here. So you come in here once a day, twice a day, so you keep
Yeah,
going.
not stopped by your parents, but parents are stopping it, not correct.
Oh.
You can't leave us by putting us here.
That is why.
No, Swami cannot do that. My parents want you. I want to live here. I told my mother, I want to live.
There is no question of living. Why do you take in that?
If I live there,
You simply hear, you try to understand what is Kṛṣṇa consciousness. There is no question of living.
You know, Indian culture, parents do not allow us to go out. Sometimes, we are in parents who can understand. Our parents are not coming, and I are dependent on us.
That is Maya's agent. When the parents see that my son is going to a prostitute's house, they overlook it. Ah, young man. And when he goes to a saintly person, oh, this boy is going to be a sannyasi. Take precaution, take precaution. This is Maya. They will not object if the boy goes to a prostitute's house. But they will object if he goes to a sannyasi. This is Maya. They overlook. What is that young man? That's all. As soon as he goes to take instruction from a sadhu sannyasi, oh, this boy is going to be out of home, protect him. That is Maya.
And they are stopping to their own slaughter.
Huh?
They are stopping to their own slaughter. They have got slaughter correcting now.
Well, Sarthiya also, everyone has got, but they do not know. Nati vidu sartha gating Vishnu. Everyone sarth is Vishnu. When you concentrate in Kṛṣṇa, that is real sartha, all is nonsense.